Welcome former SEC Chair Jay Clayton. He is now non-executive chair at Apollo and a CNBC contributor. Where do you want to start? When you come in, we always have like a kind of a buffet of things. I don't know if there's a sneeze tray. I don't like buffets without sneeze trays. You know what I'm saying? On top, or sneeze shield. But
fair enough.
Yeah. When the last 3 days, what have you said? Oh my God, I need to talk about this with Joe and Andrew. Anything?
Market function yesterday.
It wasn't great, was it?
No, I think.
But it worked.
I think it worked. And given that you had clearly a ton of forced selling. People were selling because they
margin calls.
Because they had margin calls, because they had to fund things. And with that, globally, the market functioned well. I think that is good news. What else is good news? Our GSIBs, what we worried about in 2008 and the like. Clearly this was nothing to them. They can handle market volatility like this. You talk to the largest banks. This was not a problem for them. So those are very good things. One thing that we're hearing this morning, on this program, is the Fed. People are saying, what should the Fed be doing? My takeaway is, thank goodness we have an independent Fed. Right? You have all of these different pushes and pulls and the like, and in a political season, we're less than 100 days away from an election. I think what you're seeing.
Why have even the possibility of it not being independent? And we were just talking about that. Why not have a Taylor rule? Why not have a rules-based Fed instead of someone who could be swayed, someone who flies by the seat of the pants? We had someone thinks, Greenspan was this, Volcker was this, Janet Yellen was this, Bernanke was this. It wouldn't have to be dependent on one person leading 11 or 12 other people around. Why not rules?
Well, I don't think it's one person. I think Chair Powell.
It's a consensus.
Does a pretty good job of building consensus. But maybe they follow along because they find a good spot. But why not have a rule?
Yeah.
Because the world changes. The financial world is very complex. I mean, why have a rule when you have what I would say is disciplined fiscal spending, and now I'm going out on a limb, as opposed to profligate fiscal spending? That's probably.
And look what happened.
That's probably a different context.
They stayed
right?
at zero and completely enabled the fiscal spending.
But now they've responded.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of responding, and we don't know how it's going
to. I'm going to defend the Fed here.
Okay.
We're all looking to the Fed to deal with this situation with the very blunt tool of interest rates.
Right.
When we have unprecedented fiscal spending, right? We have unprecedented supply shocks. We have volatility around the world. We have Europe, which is.
Do you think we would have had unprecedented fiscal spending if they had? That's not their place. Their place is whatever Congress does, they fund it. They shouldn't try to cut off the spigot.
I think that unfortunately, they're in reactionary mode as it goes to fiscal spending. That's where they've always been. That's how you stay independent.
Can we try? Let's talk about. You can talk about Google. My point was it's just weird, and I don't know. We're finding out who appointed the judge. I'm not really going to say one way or the other that it's political, but it's one person that's deciding on. I don't know
That's
whether
how the system works.
I know, but then there's also.
And by the way, I disagree oftentimes with judges, and then you go to the next court, and then you go.
What about this one? You think Google is just really good at what it does, or do you think it's monopolistic?
Okay, I'll start with that.
Yeah.
When it's not I'll just speak personally. When it's not the browser that comes up, I switch to it.
Yeah,
because my experience is it's just better.
Yeah.
So okay, and that's something that the judge has to deal with. The fact that consumers may just like this. What I thought was good about the opinion, I perused it quickly, is the judge did explain the thinking,
right,
in a pretty clear way. I think in these types of situations, what does the judge owe the parties, and what do they owe the appellate court? As much of a balanced view of how they viewed the law and the facts, so that the public can react, the appellate court can look at it, and the like.
What's next? I mean, is it a good precedent or a bad precedent for our tech industry, which is the best in the world?
I am all in on tech. I'm all in on tech, all in on America. It's one of our greatest advantages.
Yeah.
I think we have to be pretty careful about whether
light touch.
We're
not getting
But
there.
here's my question. My question is, are they fighting yesterday's war? which is to say that Google has been the predominant, search engine in the world, but now all of a sudden we're talking about Perplexity, we're talking about OpenAI doing its own search product. All of a sudden, Microsoft, which is, partnered with OpenAI, is making a new run at making Bing, a meaningful player. I don't know if any of those things are going to succeed, but, if you look over 10, 20, 30 years at the top 10 companies in America in terms of market cap and revenue, they do switch.
They switch.
They switch. And that's something to be said about competition.
Innovation is a much better response than the government to these types of situations.
So having said that,
right, it's absolutely clear.
Having said that, look,
and people would argue, but the government needs to be there to foster innovation.
Right.
Okay. Back to Joe's point, light touch, forward looking.
So here's the complicated part. I say to myself, if I'm Apple, I should absolutely be able to sell parts of my screen to whoever I want. Okay?
100%.
Okay. In this case, they sell it to Google. Because they sold it to Google, Google has, and because they sold for a lot of money, by the way, not everybody has can afford the screen space, if you will. So the capital, if you will, all of a sudden has competitive value.
Yep.
So they get on this screen, and there's a feedback loop. And that's the part that I think we haven't really thought through from a competitive perspective.
I don't think this is that new. What brand does Macy's put in the storefront window?
Absolutely. No. But here's the question. What product do you know that gets put in the Macy's window and the product gets better because it's in the window? So the reason that the Google product is better,
the network effects,
is because more people are using it, and therefore it can train effectively better to actually send people to the right place in a way, frankly, that some of these others can't.
So
right, and that's a very interesting dynamic.
Is Apple supposed to say, "I'm sorry,
I can't
put you up front because it's too good a deal"?
I've always defended Apple's right to do that. But then the question is, does Google not have the right to pay the money? It's a very interesting sort of philosophical, but not so philosophical, very practical issue. And from an antitrust, just if you're into antitrust, this one actually is closer to me in terms of like thinking through the sort of unique dynamics at play than some of the others.
I get it and when you are in a government position like that, high impact is something you always have to look at. And sure, it's a greater impact, but what does the consumer want?